Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Monmouth Park here on Saturday. It is the 20th of July, 2024. Going to look at the 11th and 12th race, the UN and Haskell for Monmouth. But before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and I mean it, around the world. Let's look at the stakes action races 11 and 12 here from Monmouth, some good ones. The 11th race, it is the United Nations Stakes. It's a Grade 2 event going for a $600,000 purse, race for 3-year-olds and upwards. We have a very good field of 12 horses going to the turf course. The distance of ground is 2,200 meters, or mile 3/8 on the Monmouth turf course. Gonna take as a top selection here the number 9 horse, Tawny Port. 9, 10, 4, 12 for me in the superfecta. 9, 10, 4, 12 super. Top selection 9 horse, Tawny Port. 5-year-old horse by Pioneer of the Nile. Christophe Clement trains. Fabian Pratt gets the mount. The horse's most recent appearance came in the Grade 3 Monmouth Stakes at Monmouth, a mile and 8th on the 15th of June, and the horse finished third by a neck that day. And from a wide trip, he left going out of the gate that day to get good position, which he did. He stalked all the way around. He had a great turn of foot. He had the lead. The two in front of him who dead heated just had the jump on him, that all-out finish, but he ran his heart out. He's a kind of horse. They were running him on dirt over like the mile 16th mile races, and he was running okay, not great. But since coming to the turf, his bars have jumped up 10 points, and he's really become a great long-distance turf horse. Always running these good on races. It's probably his worst race in his most recent form cycles was the was at Aqueduct, the mile 3/8 in the Man of War, where he finished 4th by 9 1/4 lengths that day, where he was just empty that day. He couldn't catch Silver Knot and Honor Code or Ohana Honor, who just had the jump on him, but he ran his heart out around the course there. And then the Pan American at Gulfstream with the mile and a half, he finished 3rd by neck. He stalked, he really closed up well late. He just missed, but he ran his heart out. Even again in the McDermott in his seasonal reappearance, he placed that day just missing. Just kind of yielded late. Maybe just need the race there, but he won the John's Call on turf last year over the mile 5 furlongs at Saratoga. Came back to run a very good second place finish in the Cape Hendelson at Delaware, and then in the Sycamore, I thought he just saw a little bit too much of a class horse of bold act that day. But refreshing here off some decent runs, back to a mile 3/8. I think he get the job done. The 10-horse Web Slinger is a very interesting horse for Mark Cassie and Louis Saez. Another horse I think he's been crying out for longer distances. He finally got last time out in the Chorleywood, where he really closed up well to get the job done from the back of the pack. A very good strong run. Prior to the Turf Classic, he finished 3rd by 2 lengths. Again, I thought he wanted more ground, but he got around the race course well. And then a decent 3rd in the Muniz Memorial race, which I think in the next few years it might be a Grade 1. That's how very good the group of horses coming out of those races have been. But another horse back to a mile 3/8. It's going to have to overcome a wide trip, but he could definitely win. Let's use him in the pick 4. But to recap my selection now for the 11th from Monmouth, it is the Grade 2 United Nations. It's going to take 9 horse, 20 Port. Give kudos to the 10 horse Web Slinger. 9, 10, 4, 12 Super. 9, 10 in the multi-race. The feature 12th race now from Monmouth, it is the Haskell Stakes. It's a Grade 1 event going for $1 million purse, race for 3-year-olds here. Field of 8 horses going 1,800 meters, or a mile and 8th here in the Haskell. Gonna take the 3-horse Tuscan Sky as a top selection. 3, 7, 1, 4 for me in the superfecta. 3, 7, 1, 4 super. Top selection 3-horse Tuscan Sky. 3-year-old called by Vino Rosso. Top Fletcher trains. Javier Castellano picks up the mount. They ran the horse locally in the Monmouth, here at Monmouth, the mile 16th in the Pegasus, the local prep race for this one, and he won by 6 1/4 lengths that day, and he basically stalked all the way around the race course. He beat Domestic Pradicoma, who was the next start winner in the Dwyer 2 weeks later, but this horse, he really took off clear. The blinkers really concentrated on him that day. Back here to a mile and 8th, drawn very well. Has run a very good bar that could definitely keep up with the horses. I think he's sitting on a very good run here today. He ran 2 back in the Grade 2 Wood Memorial at Aqueduct, a mile and 8th on the 6th of April. He finished 7 by 12 lengths that day, and he steadied a few times. He just wasn't very comfortable from a wide trip, and they were just asking a little bit too much too soon. He only had 2 other rivals at Fairgrounds in February, mile 16th on Slop and Optional 100. He won by 2 lengths that day, beating Nash Holmes, a decent horse, who was the next start winner. This horse was wide, but he got the job done going away. And then on debut at Aqueduct, going 6 back in January, he won by 5 1/4 lengths, and he was much the best that day. He's training well since the last race. He ran a very good bar that could definitely be competitive in this race. I'm going to give him a shot on the ticket. The 7-horse Mind Framed for Tom Pletcher and Rapoli and Irad wouldn't surprise me if this horse gets a good trip. I picked him in the Belmont, where he had a very good second place finish by half a length that day. He was very wide, and in the lane, he just was lackadaisical. The inexperience got to him, but he ran his heart out first time. Stakes quad horses in that kind of caliber race. Refreshing here to a mile and 8th. Gonna have to overcome another wide trip, but I think if he could concentrate on the run, he could win. He ran terrifically Derby weekend at Churchill over the mile 16th, where he won by 7 1/4 lengths in the front and all throughout. He basically won in a trot, a very easy run. And then on debut late March at Goldstream going 7/8, again he won on a trot, going away by a baker's dozen that day. Training well since the last race, refreshing at 9-5. He's a second likeliest winner. I'm going to use him in the ticket here. I think it's a 2-horse race between Tuscan Sky and Mindframe, so it's good Haskell this year. But to recount my selection, and before I go any further, talk about Timberlake for a second. It's going to be his first start since the Arkansas Derby. I would have ran him next week in the Amsterdam over 6.5. I just don't, I think he's the kind of horse that's going to be better around a one turn. Go for the Amsterdam and then maybe into the King's Bishop or the Allen Jerkins, something like that. I just think they're sitting there. It's a little bit too long, too high for this race. But if he wins, he wins. But that would have been my thing. But to recount my selections now for the 12th from Monmouth, it is the Grade 1 Haskell. Going to go with the 3-horse Tuscan Sky. Give kudos to the 7-horse Mindframe. 3-7-1-4 Super. 3-7 in the multi-race. So good luck to all. Please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5. Good luck, everyone.